A court lady's day unfolds like a painted scroll, framed by the pillars of the Heian court in Kyoto, Japan during the 12th century. As the mist retreats from the gardens, a new day dawns at the heart of the Heian court. The rising sun paints the sky in hues of rose and gold, but the first light filters through layers of translucent paper screens, softening the illumination. This is a world where shadows dance, not in harsh relief, but in gentle whispers of color. In a quiet courtyard, the air hangs heavy with a scent of plum blossoms. Lanterns flicker softly, casting dancing shadows on the ground. A slender court lady with raven black hair, dressed in layers of silk robes, sits poised on a low platform. Her eyes are downcast, her gaze fixed on the petals of a flower in her lap. Her hands, adorned with simple gold rings, gently caress the fabric of her robe, a pale green silk that mirrors the budding leaves outside. She appears lost in contemplation, her face an enigmatic canvas of pale skin and shadowed features. Her long eyelashes cast delicate shadows on her cheeks, and her lips, painted a subtle shade of red, seem barely audible. A single tear traces a path down her flawless skin. It is early morning, the time when the chill of night lingers in the air and the warmth of the sun has yet to penetrate the stillness. The quiet of the courtyard is profound, broken only by the distant murmur of courtly music drifting through the open windows of the palace. Time seems suspended, allowing for introspection and the indulgence of emotions. The lady's sorrow, though palpable, does not consume her. It mingles with the tranquility of the surroundings. A poignant melody played on the strings of her heart. A young lady in waiting, her face framed by an elaborate headdress adorned with delicate flowers, approaches her mistress. She carries a small table with a basin of water and a set of brushes and combs. Her movements are graceful, her steps light and silent. The lady in waiting's presence exudes warmth and quiet competence. She embodies the ideal of feminine beauty and refinement, her gentle demeanor a foil to her mistress's introspective mood. The sight of the approaching attendant momentarily draws the lady's attention away from her sorrowful thoughts. She turns her head slightly, acknowledging her companion's presence with a subtle nod. In that instant, the court lady's composure returns, her shoulders straightening, her chin lifting slightly. The lady in waiting offers a reassuring smile and gently takes the brushes from the table, preparing to attend to her mistress's hair. The ritual begins with a soft murmur of voices as the ladies converse in hushed tones, their words weaving a tapestry of camaraderie and shared understanding. The lady in waiting's nimble fingers move with practiced ease, deftly separating the long strands of hair, allowing each lock to glisten under the soft light filtering through the window. With each stroke, the tangled mess gradually transforms into a cascading river of obsidian. The court lady closes her eyes, leaning back slightly as if basking in the comforting routine. As the hairbrush glides through her raven tresses, memories stir within her. Visions of past moments, both joyous and sorrowful, flash before her inner eye. The rhythmic brushing becomes a conduit to a world of emotions, each stroke echoing with unspoken words and hidden longings. She thinks of her family, her parents, whose faces are etched with worry. Their daughter's recent melancholy has been a source of concern, and they wait anxiously for her to find solace once more. Then there's the dashing young lord, his name a whisper on her lips. Their secret meetings, hidden trysts, and stolen glances come flooding back. Each memory a bittersweet pang in her heart. Was it all a dream? Has the love they shared withered like a flower left in the sun too long? The weight of her unspoken feelings presses upon her chest, threatening to spill over. But with each breath, she gathers herself, drawing strength from the timeless ritual enveloping her. The lady-in-waiting's voice breaks through her reverie, her tone gentle as she asks about the progress of her mistress's calligraphy practice. The court lady opens her eyes, the depths reflecting a turmoil of emotions. With a slight smile gracing her lips, she admits that her progress is halting, that the brush seems reluctant to flow under her command. The lady-in-waiting nods understandingly, attuned to the subtle shifts in her companion's demeanor. She knows that melancholy often seeps into every aspect of one's life, clouding even the most cherished pursuits. Once the masterpiece is complete, the court lady rises from her seat, stretching out her arms, feeling the silken sleeves brush against her fingertips. She observes the intricate patterns adorning the fabric, finding solace in the meticulous craftsmanship. Each fold, each pleat tells a silent story of dedication and artistry. The garments she wears are not just symbols of status, but tangible expressions of her identity within the rigid hierarchy of the Heian court. They are also canvases upon which her individuality is subtly displayed. As the sun climbs higher in the sky, bathing the courtyard in golden hues, the court lady prepares to step into the bustling world of the palace. With graceful movements, she adjusts her robe, ensuring its perfect drape. Her hands, now bare, reveal the delicate beauty of her fingernails, each painted a harmonious shade of red. The lady-in-waiting watches attentively, ready to assist with any last-minute adjustments. Her mistress's every move exudes elegance and refinement, a testament to years of training and an inherent sense of decorum. As they traverse the labyrinthine corridors of the palace, the court lady moves with the quiet confidence born of familiarity. Polished wooden floors echo softly beneath her steps, each footstep measured and precise. The air within the palace walls is thick with the scent of incense, a constant reminder of the spiritual undertones permeating every aspect of court life. The soft murmur of voices and the rustle of silk robes weave a symphony of sound and texture, enveloping them in an atmosphere of hushed activity. Upon reaching her destination, a spacious reception room, the court lady pauses to straighten her posture. She turns to her lady-in-waiting, offering a subtle nod of acknowledgement. In that silent gesture, a world of trust and mutual respect is conveyed. The lady-in-waiting responds with a graceful bow, her back ramrod straight, her head held high. Within the grand reception room, the court lady sits gracefully on a low platform. Her posture is a study in elegance, her back straight, her shoulders square, her chin lifted ever so slightly. The play of light and shadow across her features accentuates the delicate contours of her face, making her appear both regal and vulnerable. Her eyes, now downcast, betray a lingering sadness, a quiet sorrow that refuses to be shaken off. Even in the midst of courtly duties and the ebb and flow of social interactions, her spirit remains tethered to the depths of her own thoughts. As the courtly entertainment commences, the lady's attention drifts back to the performance unfolding before her. The court musicians, seated on tatami mats, play a variety of instruments, their melodies intermingling to create a rich tapestry of sound. A court dancer, adorned in flowing robes, interprets the nuances of a poem with graceful movements, her every gesture a testament to years of rigorous training. Yet, despite the captivating spectacle, the court lady's spirit remains partially absent. Her gaze is distant, as though she's contemplating some unseen horizon. The vibrant colors, the lilting music, and the intricate dance steps fail to fully engage her, for her thoughts are entangled in a labyrinth of her own making. But as the afternoon sun begins its slow descent, painting the sky in hues of amber and rose, a change comes over her. A faint smile touches her lips, and her eyes regain some of their brilliance. She turns to her lady-in-waiting, her voice soft but clear, and asks for a small notepad and a brush. The lady-in-waiting, attuned to her mistress's every whim, promptly retrieves the requested items, placing them on the low table before her, with the notepad secured to a wooden box. The court lady dips her brush into a small dish of ink, her movements precise and elegant. On the crisp white surface, she begins to write, her strokes confident and precise. As she writes, her brow furrows slightly, her tongue peeking out from the corner of her mouth in concentration. The words flow from her pen, expressing emotions that have been simmering beneath the surface, finding solace in the written word. She writes of love and longing, of joys and sorrows, of hopes and dreams, each stroke a whispered secret carried on the wings of the wind. When the sun finally dips below the horizon, leaving streaks of crimson and violet in its wake, the court lady folds her notepad, securing it with a silk ribbon. Her writing done for the day, she turns to her lady-in-waiting, her eyes shining with a newfound resolve. She instructs her companion to deliver the note to the object of her affection, entrusting her with the task of conveying her innermost feelings. The lady, in waiting, her expression betraying nothing, receives the note, her fingers delicately touching the envelope, as if afraid of disturbing its contents. With a final bow to her mistress, she departs, disappearing into the labyrinthine corridors of the palace. As night descends, the court lady prepares for her evening ritual. With the assistance of her lady-in-waiting, she changes into lighter, more comfortable garments, shedding the weight of the day's formalities. As the two ladies undress, the fading light casts long shadows on the walls, creating an intimate, almost secretive atmosphere. The tasks of removing her elaborate garments and arranging her bedding become shared moments of quiet companionship. And as the court lady settles into her bed, a soft pile of silk futons on the floor, her lady-in-waiting continues her vigil, fanning her mistress to ensure comfort. The lady-in-waiting's unwavering devotion extends to the smallest details, ensuring that every need of her mistress is met. And in the hushed stillness of the night, as the sounds of the court fade into a distant murmur, the court lady finds a measure of peace. The weight of the day's emotions, both joyful and sorrowful, seems to lift slightly, replaced by a fragile tranquility. The soft fabric of her bedding envelops her, offering a temporary sanctuary from the complexities of her world. For in this moment of solitude, she is not a court lady bound by rituals and decorum, but simply a woman seeking solace in the quiet embrace of the night. As the day warms, the lady joins a small gathering in one of the garden pavilions. A few other women sit with her, their sleeves trailing across the wooden floor, their voices soft and measured. Together they play a quiet game, composing linked verses of poetry. One begins a line, another answers, weaving their thoughts like threads in a tapestry. Laughter comes gently, covered behind fans. Servants pass by with trays of sweets, rice cakes dusted with sugar, candied chestnuts, slices of pear. Nearby, children chase each other in the long colonnades, their laughter echoing like bells. But here, in the pavilion, time feels slow, stretched like silk. By late afternoon, the sun begins to lower. Lanterns are hung along the verandas, their paper sides painted with blossoms and clouds. The lady returns to her chamber to write again, this time in her diary. She writes not only of her day, but of her feelings, her secret thoughts, the small details that would vanish if left unwritten. Later generations may never know her name, but her words will endure like faint brushstrokes on fragile paper. Dinner is served as the sky darkens. Bowls of rice, simmered vegetables, perhaps a slice of grilled fish. She eats quietly, listening to the sound of crickets beginning their night songs outside. Somewhere in the distance, the steady beat of drums marks a Shinto ceremony taking place. As evening deepens, the lady joins others in the courtyard. The night is cool, and the cherry blossoms glow pale under the lantern light. Musicians play the biwa and koto, their music slow and contemplative. Some of the men compose impromptu poems, offering them aloud with a bow, while the women reply with verses whispered behind their fans. The lady lifts her eyes to the blossoms above. One petal drifts down, landing on her sleeve, and she smiles. In this fleeting beauty, she feels both joy and sadness. For spring will pass, blossoms will fall, and life itself moves as swiftly as a sigh. Later, back in her chamber, she kneels by the lamplight, finishing her diary for the day. Her brush glides softly over the page. When she finally lays down, the futons embrace her with warmth. Beyond the shoji doors, the night hums with crickets, and the faint smell of incense lingers still. She closes her eyes, and the palace drifts into silence, as if all of Kyoto has gone to sleep beneath the falling blossoms.